Guten Morgen. How is everybody today on this lovely Friday morning? Hope everybody's having a great day. Brad, starting up a chiller. Be careful, man. It's Friday. Don't want you to get hurt or anything before the weekend. Vince, Marian, Da Vinci, JPP. Raj, how's it going? So we were going to work on the switch wire. I had thumbnail and everything all laid out. I'm like, ah, crap. I still need to get a cartographer. So can't really do much on that. So yeah. So anyway, yesterday I was, after stream, trying to run some other test prints on the Micron. What's up, man? Armor 3D printing. Luke, how's it going, y'all? And nozzle clogged. I made some poor decisions on how I dealt with that, as I was extremely frustrated. Bearded Printer, Havoc, how y'all doing today? Hope you guys are having a good day. So we're halfway through whatever. I had to print a new part because I melted it. So we're going to put the head back together again. Issue was that it wasn't depressing the leaf cutter, filament cutter over there. But a few house cleaning things for what we've got going on. For those that didn't see yesterday evening, YouTube got back with me and approved the partner thing, so I'm now a YouTube partner. I'm still trying to figure it all out. So, yeah. So now we have things like memberships and stuff like that. Trying to sort that out. Discord's integration option isn't there. It used to be, because it used to tell me no when I clicked on it, but now it's not there. Yeah, thanks, man. Also, there's a bit of good news. The disability insurance company got back with me yesterday, and that got approved. Long story short, the surgeon said one thing, the doctor said another. Now, this surgeon that I'm going to hasn't been the spinal surgeon that I've dealt with for the last year. He's just new into this kind of second opinion, sent there to get the surgery done. Basically a better option than the surgeon I had in town. So he didn't have all the backstory stuff. So he said, yeah, you know, he worked until surgery, whatever. And my regular doctor's like, yeah, no, he can't. And anyway, so the insurance company's like, we have two conflicting things. One that says this guy should be working, the other one that says he can't. So they had to take it to their clinical team, and their doctors looked at the imaging stuff and was like, yeah, this guy can't work, and approved it. So finally should get paid after, well, by the time I get paid, it'll be just shy of a month since I've gotten any money. So that's good news. There's lots of people wanted money from me, and I didn't have any money to give them. Yeah, it's a nightmare. You're rebuilding your Mark 3S Plus. What are you doing with the Mark 3S Plus? I haven't looked, so I have purposely not looked at anything. I know Killer Prince was doing the Prusa wire thing, and I've got switch wires. I've got, you know, one and another one under progress. So I have no desire whatsoever to take my Prusa and turn it into a switch wire. I've got that well covered. Kago, how's it going? It's customers. Okay, nice. Rebuilding the tool head on it. I did have to change. I had to do some work on mine when I got it. It needed a new hot end. I happen to have some V6s sitting, so that wasn't an issue. I had a little like dust thing on the lead screw that was preventing the one side from going down, so I took that off. It still says that it can't calibrate itself. Every time you try to run the self-calibration thing, it errors out for the x-axis, I think. Also, I noticed issues on my surface finish off of the 2.4. Got to digging into it, and that tool head's rocking back and forth. I was like, all right, something loose, and I took it apart. I get down, and that linear rail has let go some. So we're going to need to get a new linear rail. I think I'm going to pick up a Berserker rail from over at West 3D. That one's failed calibration as well. So what I'm told is that it's really picky on the belt tension. There's like a official belt tension thing that you can get, and that apparently it's got to be very specifically in this tension range, otherwise it fails out. I haven't bothered to try. I also added Pi 02 to it so I could get the Prusa Connect stuff going. Hello, Sync. How's it going? Happy Friday. So we're going to, like I said, I'm trying to figure out all the membership integrations and all that stuff. So bear with me on that while I figure it out. And then once we have some members and stuff like that, I'll start putting out some exclusive content for them. There's no point in doing it with no members, but I've got some ideas. I've been cooking them up for a little while. And then of course we got the big celebration stream here in a month. Just over a month. So that's going to be awesome. Anyway, let's get down to business, shall we? You do, Luke. You do. Very much so you do. I prefer, and especially your streams, even if you co-stream, like you don't utilize all the craziness that goes on stream that a lot of the Twitch streamers do. So your content is very much suitable for YouTube as well. Like I understand the streamers that have all the kind of like crazy chat interactions and stuff like that, but I remember to turn on my iPad and charge it this morning, so we got that going. Uh-oh. All right, well, I'll watch for it, Brad. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to figure out some way to give back to all those who have helped me out so much on this journey. Kind of hitting this milestone for me is a bit of self-reflection to look back at how I got here and those that have helped me get here. And I really want to figure something out. I've got a few ideas. I don't know that any of them are great ideas at this moment, but trying to figure out something. We've got that we've got some awesome giveaways on that marathon stream, so that's really cool. I'm really excited for that. Also, the workbench situation, and that we were going to do multi-board, but there's no way to mount the multi-board in the situation that I need it mounted and how I need it to do it. So that was a huge point of stress for me, trying to figure that out. And finally, I just messaged Polymaker yesterday. I'm like, listen guys, because they sponsored the Jewelry Drawers content, which there's going to be a full video for coming up soon. If you notice here, we're using one of them for all the parts for this. But I messaged them yesterday. I'm like, hey, listen, there's no way for me to do this multi-board thing. There's no way to mount it. I can do some other content and stuff with the materials, or, you know, we can figure something else out. And they said, hey, whatever ideas you have, if you can utilize the material, we're happy to sponsor that content. So that's a huge weight off my back, because I very much try to be a man of my word. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I just couldn't come through on that one. So that was huge stress. Two great big stressors were taken off my shoulders yesterday. My blood pressure like crashed out as that anxiety just went away. I almost passed out from it. No, Nick, I'm sorry. Yep, not as much kind of fancy stuff over here on YouTube. So currently, we're going to be using the frame from the Ender, unless I messaged DLL PDF about what was going on. So unless they come through with the frame, we'll be using the frame that came with it. If they do come through with it, great. It'll look awesome. If they come through with the bed, great. We'll use that. If not, we're using the stock bed. And then we're not doing the auxiliary fans to begin with, because it's like 30 bucks for those two fans. Unless I can manage it somehow over the next month to grab those fans. I would like to, but we'll see. And then we're doing the skirts, the like mesh skirts around the bottom. We're doing, we're just doing the single Z motor. I have enough motors and stuff to do all three. Maybe that'll be an upgrade in the future, but I couldn't exactly figure out the what I'd need for that. And I needed to make a decision, because I think LTX Designs is making the bottom panel for it. So I had to make a decision. At some point, I'll get the CNC bed plate stuff. I don't have the $100 and some to do that right now. I know Fabrico has it, a bed and a bed plate, and we'll deal with that at some point later. Right this second, I have to work with what I have and what I know I can do. It's not like, all right, so let me get back over here. It's not like one of my other builds where it's going to be drawn out over a length of time. It's got to be all done in one day, and I've got to do what I know I can do now so that I can plan to have this done all in one day, or at least all in one stream. All right, I will. Yep, I printed the files for the BD probe. So we are going to be using that. I've decided to use that on the NG as it's come from Armored 3D Printing. Check out his store for that. Somebody was kind enough to gift that to the channel. Thank you to whoever that was. But since he's kind of very much been involved in the Ender 3 NG, I wanted to use it on that versus shoehorning it into the switch wire build. Yeah, Armored 3D Printing's site's got some really cool 3D printing accessories. You can get some Central 3D filament from over there. I'm not sure, is it shipping out from you, the filament, or is Central 3D kind of handling the shipping of it? The Ender 3 NG Poppy, nice. Mike, how's it going? So the cool thing about this NG build for me is it has very much been a community effort on it. Let me close this door. Looks a mess. There's a tote that I just keep throwing socks in because I refuse to be the only person that matches them when we do laundry. So nobody wants to help me match them. They can just go in a tote and they can sort it out themselves. So yeah, this entire build has been made possible by the community. So Mike donated, oh no, it's Mike donated the Ender and the kit. And then an anonymous somebody donated the BD sensor for the project. I'm using black filament from Polymaker. I was just using it off that spool because it was easy, but you know, I had black to replace it if I needed to. But so now we're going to call that Polymaker sponsorship on the filament. It's a community project printer designed by the community. So yeah, it's been very much a community thing. Like, yeah, there's some stuff that I had. Steven Marchado donated the controller board for the project. There's Steven Marchado right now. Brad donated the hot end, the extruder, 5-volt power supply. Like, it's very much been a community thing, and I'm super honored that you guys did that. So I want to, in addition to that, throughout, you know, the entire channels thing, I want to figure out a way to give back to everybody. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Yeah, Mike and maybe Steven are going to be coming and working on the project with me on stream. I'm going to argue that I will make the argument that every single streamer doing 3D printing content streams are better than mine. But I'm okay with that because that's not what I'm here for. Okay? Guys, show up, have fun. We hang out in the garage. Just, you know, we have the same conversations and do the same things as if you guys were standing here with me. That's what this is. This is just the community hanging out, having fun together, doing things together, and I really want to bring that up to the next level in the future. I'm never going to be that guy that you watch to learn how to do something. A lot of you know how to do a lot of the things that I do just as well, if not better than I do. You know, if I can help though with people finding new, cool, fun things to do, I'm all for that. I like helping Stephen Marchado find new projects. So I'm trying to bring value in a different way. There's a lot of people out there that do the how-to stuff way better than I'm ever going to be able to. I thought I did, Captain. Didn't I? Maybe I typed it and never sent it. I know I typed out a response to that. Oh yeah, this is definitely the stream to watch if you like watching somebody run into issues. That's for certain. We're gonna run into issues installing Clipper on this switch wire. I'm sure of it. All right, so there's a lot of melted stuff in here, but I think the worst of it's okay. I think this is going to be all right. This bracket's actually melted. You can't see it. Let me get off of there. Come on. All right, now you're all loose. This bracket's actually melted because these wires got so hot. But I think it's going to be all right. Yeah, I might have tried to stop the fan. The fan may also be burned up on this. We'll have to see. It looked like it was spinning there at the end, but it got hot enough that it no longer wanted to work. I tried to. You know what else isn't working? My fingers. I had to stop the hot end fan, let it heat up and push stuff through. But turns out, once I got it all apart, the PTFE tube had deformed, and a big melted glob of filament got stuck between the heat break, the top of the heat break, and the PTFE tube. So as I kept clearing the clog, it just kept clogging back up. Started with a clog of black filament and ended up with a clog of gold filament. So I'm not sure why that happened. I'm assuming I just didn't have the PTFE tube quite long enough, which is very interesting. I've thought about it. I'm almost out of PPSCF. It is one of the things that I'm going to pick up another roll of, and I want to try out the PPS glass filled as well. I've printed quite a few things with the little bit of extra that I had after I printed the gantry for the 2.4. I printed the cutter arm that's in the Trident for the filament cutter because it kept breaking. Now, the part that breaks all the time is the depressor arm, but I've just printed out like 6 of them, and I purposely leave that as the weak spot, because if it doesn't home right, or if it loses steps or something, and that tool head comes and crashes that arm into where the supposed to cut, I want that to be the weak spot, and I want that to be what breaks and not something else that's harder to replace, because that's just pull a panel off and loosen a screw and 2 heat sets and you're done. Speaking of heat sets, I forgot to put heat sets in the side of this. Everything's out for delivery again. Yeah, I normally do use Capricorn for this. I don't know if I have any left, but yeah, I do normally use Capricorn tubing in there. I bought, like, from Micro Center, the thing of Capricorn tubing for the, the Ender 3 when I first got into it, and that's what I've been using ever since. All right. Push the button, turn on my heat press. Oh yeah, how is the Core 1? For those that don't know, Armored 3D Printing, Prusa sent him over a Core 1, which is super awesome. He did a live unboxing earlier this week. Go back and watch that stream. I really want to get a printer that's like the Core 1, like Bamboo, something where it is not a project, it is a tool to get other projects done. I want it something I can fit underneath this workbench on the shelf that's underneath of this, and it just be my tool. Be that a Core 1, one of the Bamboo enclosed printers with an AMS. That's the route I'd really like to go, is like a Bamboo with an AMS. Something to just be a tool for projects. I accidentally put one of these bigger heat sets in this last time. We're just going to throw them away. They're not useful for anything. I just have to always sort them out. All right. All right, once more with feeling over here. Let me back this camera up now a little bit. There we go. I want to get, so Walmart has an O&N brand little webcam that's 4K supposedly. I want to get one of those because it's like 30 bucks. And see how that does and replace this Logitech camera that is the one that's looking into this printer right now. I've got the Meet 2 is the one up here, and I got the Link 2C over there. But I'd like to get a better camera for here. So these are some of the things that, as the channel makes a little bit of money through Patreon. Shout out to Patreon members Brad and Dynastatic. Appreciate you guys. That's some of the stuff that we're going to use that money for, is trying to get stuff to improve the channel. Both projects, funding projects for the channel, and then some stuff to improve the viewer experience, like a better camera. MMX3. The MMU 3 on your Core 1 and getting another for the index integration. Oh, okay. Yeah. As I understand it, Prusa does a pretty good job with their tuning for, because there's no filament cutter. It's just like tip forming, as I understand it, for the MMUs. Been printing consistently since Tuesday. Yeah, Luke, I think I need to make friends with the Prusa folks too. I got to talk to Mr. Prusa himself at 3D Printopia. Was upstairs walking back from the auxiliary area over to the upstairs of the main floor, and there was a vending machine up there. Joel Telling, 3D Printing Nerd, was standing there, and I just walked up, say hi to Joel, introduced myself to him, and Joseph Prusa turns around. I didn't even realize it was him. He's way taller than I expected him to be. He definitely rivals Joel. And knew who I was. Like, yeah, I had a badge on that said Projects in Dad's Garage, but he didn't have the time, and the time he turned around, he just knew who I was. And I was impressed by that. But the conversation never went any further than just saying, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, shaking hands. Handed Joel one of my maker chips, and he handed me some stickers and went about our way. I wasn't, they were clearly in the middle of whatever they were doing, and I didn't want to interrupt that too much. Just wanted to say hi. And like I said, I didn't even realize it was him at first. They normally are super busy, but it was just like a chill moment. They were just, they weren't in any sort of serious conversation. They were just grabbing drinks from the vending machine. I also needed to grab a drink from the vending machine. We just all happened to be at the same place at the same time. I did speak with the guys over at the booth quite extensively for a while because my daughter was absolutely obsessed with the 3D printed basketballs. She is a huge basketball fan. So she was very much enjoying playing with those basketballs. And that was first thing Sunday morning. There wasn't very many people in there yet because we came in and immediately went downstairs. So there wasn't very many people, if any, at the booth for most of that time. So I spoke with them quite a while, just chit-chatting, you know, just as a normal guy looking at stuff at their booth. Tip forming with a cutter at the MMU unit. It will cut the tip as part of the error correction sequence. Okay. All right, all right. Hey, I need to get something to drink over here. Bear with me for a second. We'll grab Luke's mug. There is Projects in Dad's Garage merch, though, if you are so inclined. We've got some coffee mugs over there. I didn't have any coffee this morning, so maybe we'll go Mountain Dew for some caffeine. I think for lunch we're going to make one of those frozen pizzas. I found this brand at Walmart. It's Motor City Pizza Company. Detroit style deep dish pizza. It is very good for pizza that you cook in the oven. It's very good. Oh, sweet, Captain. You love those, the pizzas? Yeah, they're the... So, if I had gone someplace and somebody served me that pizza, I would not suspect that it was pizza you cooked in the oven. I would have thought, you know, it was pizza you ordered from one of the chain pizza places. Like, you know, it's not top tier pizza. I've had top tier pizza. Living on the East Coast, pizza is one of the things that New York, New Jersey does best of any place I've ever had pizza in my life. But for like chain pizza place pizzas, it's as good as that. Damascus, how's it going? Tuna casserole. Can't say I've ever had that. I don't do well with fish. It makes me very ill. All right, so let's get some stuff installed back in here. So we got the hot end. We'll get screwed back in here. Now, through my digging, and let me show you what the issue was that started all of this misadventure. So, the leaf cutter comes over and presses against your front idler to cut. But it doesn't have enough travel space to fully depress the cutter and cut the filament. So I found this little doodad. You replace the top little bracket that holds the belt for Z, and it just got, you know, 5-6 millimeters of extra out here that cutter can press against, so you can fully depress that. It's no secret how much grief this tool head has given me, and how very annoyed with this thing that I am. Also, you got to make sure that this wire is fully in this channel. Otherwise, your cutter is going to, when it comes across, cut your fan wire. It's not so much that I don't like fish. I happen to absolutely love crabs, lobster, and shrimp, in that order. And I will, if I know I have nothing going on that night and that next day, I will absolutely partake in some crab spaghetti. Happens to be my favorite. Or some like lobster bisque or something like that. But I need to know that, fortunately, I'm not allergic to it in the, oh no, I can't breathe, I'm going to die kind of anaphylactic shock kind of way. It's just a digestive thing. You'd walk on broken glass for lobster. No, not at that moment. After a couple hours. Also, 16-hour print finished fine on the Trident yesterday. So I'm going to call that thing fixed. So super excited about that. For anybody that's followed along with that situation, you know just how extremely frustrated I've been with that ever since we did the skirts and everything on that printer. It's not worked right. LTX, how's it going? Happy Friday. You eat broken. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their preferences. My daughter, my older daughter, doesn't like pizza. I think she's the only kid I've ever met that doesn't like pizza. Never has. I think it's the sauce, because whenever I order pizza from somewhere, I've got to order her cheesy bread. She likes cheesy bread. And, you know, that's just the way it is for her. She doesn't like pizza. Let's get the extruder on here. Steven, let me ask you a question if you're still in chat. Yeah, my youngest daughter doesn't like pepperoni or anything on her pizza. She just wants plain cheese pizza. So it's quite the range in this house on how everybody likes their pizza. Anyway, so I told Mike that I would make him my brownies for when you guys come on the 22nd. What would you like me to make you, sir? Cooking is probably the thing that I do best in life. And I told Mike I would make him my espresso brownies. If there's a particular food that you enjoy, let me know, and I might have a version of it. I don't think I've combined pineapple and green olives on a pizza. I love green olives. I don't know that I'd put them on a pizza. I like garlic stuffed green olives. That's my jam right there. Let's see. Also, I crammed the strongest spring I possibly could into this leaf cutter arm for the return on it, because it likes to be difficult. If I put the screw in that goes through the back, through the little tab on the extruder, we forgot the PTFE tube, then it won't return. We gotta take this all apart because I forgot that PTFE tube. Kind of quality content we make around here. I have to think on it. Nice, Steven. I like, and I'm not going to call it pizza. Okay. But it is a pizza-like thing. I like Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizza. So, barbecue sauce inside pizza sauce, onions, pineapple, chicken, bacon. And I realize that it's a crime against pizza, and thus I do not call that pizza, but I do so enjoy it. Oh, I forgot a screw in this fan duct. So that's good. The other thing that I need to get for the switch wire too is a power cord. I don't have one. I thought I had one. I just bought one recently and I can't remember what it was for. What was that for? Power cord. Power cord. One for that monitor. What was it for? This is bothering me. What all do I have plugged in over here? I have the computer. I have this monitor. Did I steal that monitor's power cord for something that... This is a new power cord. What would I have stolen? Oh, I think I stole that monitor's power cord for the computer. No. Ah, hell. I don't know what I bought it for. Clearly, I put it on that monitor, but what I did with that monitor's power cord, I don't know. Prusa, that's what it was. I got the cord for the Prusa. Thank you. Going crazy over here. You grew up in Hawaii? Pineapple fields don't smell very good. So I always thought, up until, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago, that pineapples grew on a tree. Let me put this in here. Easier to put this in now. Putting it in later. Uh-oh. Do I have plastic melted in there? Great. There's plastic in here. Love it. Oh, shut up, Siri. But no, pineapples grow in a bush kind of thing. And I guess they only ever produce one pineapple. Okay. This drawer is stuck in here. What are you stuck on? Here's the tubing I need. Anybody got a good way to store PTFE tube? Why is that, LTX? What is it about it that they do or whatnot that makes the field smell so bad? All right. There is our tube. It looks like the same length of what I had in there last time. Old filament spool. Yeah, I guess a Ziploc bag might be the best bet. When they get left too long and start to rot, there's thousands of them. Yeah. So, like I said, they only produce one pineapple. So, what do they do with the plants after that? Do they just like burn the fields and replant them? What do they do, LTX? All right. That's chamfered now. Also, I think I can fit another heat set in the bottom here to add a little bit more rigidity to this situation. I'll have to drill it out, of course, but we get the portable heat set iron. They burn the fields. I figured that's probably what they did. That's what we'd always do. At the end of the year, in the fields with the pole limas and stuff, pull all the cedar poles out, and then once everything dried and everything, we just go out there and pour some fuel on stuff in the field, light it up, and burn the entire field. Then plow it under. You know what I need to do? Because it's starting to get cold. I need to get some clear plastic sheathing out and go out there and cover up the pot that's got all the strawberry plants in it. I want to plant some asparagus. Steven, Jesus. Oh, fucking Christ. The random Windows background on my computer right now looks like one of those Christmas paintings by what's his face? Does all the like calendars and stuff. All right. Heat set in the bottom of this. I think it'll go. This is not good. We need you to go through. That got hot. All right, I had to push out the top one a little bit. Is that going to matter? No. There's a little indent on that. That'll be fine. I need to get a drill bit though. A drill and a drill bit. Thomas Kincaid, that's what it is. All right, so here's our drill bit. Okay. Well, taking get this particular X-Acto knife, come in here, just kind of smooth this situation out. I like to keep different X-Acto knives with different types of blades on them. How often do I sweep my shop floors? Normally about twice a day. I need to get a new hose for my shop vac. Mine is getting very old and stiff. I know that very soon it is going to crack and fail. Okay, there we go. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, I bet you do need to clean your shop vac. If you're ever interested, if any of you guys put up any like the small little pools and stuff like that during the summer, and you run into a situation where you've got a bunch of algae in your pool, and those small pools have crappy pumps and filters. There's some shorts and stuff on my channel from last summer of a filter that I made out of a 5-gallon bucket, and it uses the polyfill stuff that you'd buy in Walmart. You buy it in a big bag for like stuffing blankets or pillows. Some adapters so that you can screw on a garden hose. You put a utility pump in your pool after you've like shocked it and like killed all the algae, and then you got to get all that algae out. Shock and algicide will kill it, and then you got to get the water back to clear. Take that 5-gallon bucket, you drill a couple holes in the lid so the water is getting pumped in through the bottom of the bucket, and then it sits and it's got some holes in it. It sprays the water out the top, so the water gets pushed up through that polyfill, and then just kind of waterfalls back into the pool. Kids love it, playing in the waterfall. And a couple hours with that, and it takes all the algae right out of your pool. For people that have the less expensive pools that don't have the nice big sand filters and everything. Yeah, this is true, Brad. Normally is backs and knees. I've got that problem too, but all right, so this is going to go on like this. Did I put a screw in over here? I did, but it's not exactly right. Did I cross thread this? What is going on here? Yeah, I cross threaded it. All right, we're good now. So we're gonna have to heat this up and kind of clean out the threads in that hot end in order to be able to put the nozzle in there. There's that. Also, very soon here, as soon as I get it figured out, we're going to have background music. There's now a feature that I can use to put background music into the stream from YouTube itself, so I shouldn't get any channel strikes for it. Yeah, taking a pull out is very expensive. It would definitely be cheaper just to move. All right, let's see. Put our extruder here. No, we're gonna need to do something with that after all. Shit. I can get a Dremel. So here's the issue. Where I push that heat set in through the bottom, it pushed this one up, and it's sitting just proud of the top of this. And it's preventing the extruder from going all the way down. Now, I could take a Dremel and just kind of sand that flat. I could take a file, but then I'm going to end up with some decent sized chips down in the extruder. I think, I mean, I could take it apart, but I kind of don't want to again. Taking it apart would be the right way to do it. I think I could get away with Dremel with a sanding drum, and I don't have the nozzle in there yet, and I'll just push some material through there before I put that nozzle in to clear anything that I get down in there out. Pop it out and sand it outside the printer. Low sync, you're over here trying to talk me into doing things the right way. Brad with the super chat, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. Super chats, membership should be available as well. I think anyway. I don't know. I turned it on. So much appreciated. I guess we'll do it the right way. Also, I'm just going to grab some Ziploc bags and take care of this, I guess. PTFE situation. Let's label one bag as 2mm. Label another bag. Is it 3mm ID? Think so. 3mm. 2 and 3. I don't think so. My Amazon stuff normally shows up around 4 o'clock if they're delivering out to me. They don't actually leave Columbus, which is about an hour away, until 11. So It's also, I wonder something. I was trying to see if I had the option, because like Steve has the option to like gift like memberships. I was trying to see if I had the option to do that, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's a shame. Thought that would be cool. I do have the option to do that. How do I do it? 6 months in for that one. You have gift memberships left to send this month. U-turn. You can send gift memberships free of charge each month. These are okay. Let's do it. Seems like fun. Low Sync Armor 3D printed Steven Marchado, Happy, and Shrimp Father. Awesome. And it makes you guys' names green. Cool. Fun new things I can do. All right, so this is 3mm stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna figure out the Discord integration stuff, so that members will have access to the channels that the Patreon or Discord subscribers have access to. I don't know why Discord doesn't have the option there now. Brad became a member. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you. All right, that's the Capricorn. Yeah, you're a mod, so you're always going to show up as blue. Mike became a subscriber. Thank you, Mike. What on earth is in this thing? It's got a piece of filament stuck in that one. Need to cut it. All right, and then we got a lot of the 3mm stuff here. I think it's set to $3.99. I just left the default. It was I think $3.99 for the first level tier and $8.99 for the second level tier. So I just left it as is. That's pretty close, I think, to what the Patreon tiers are. I think the Patreon tiers are 5 and 10. Or they might be 4 and hey, no worries, guys, no worries. I'm just excited to, like I said, it's like a milestone kind of thing, and I'm using it as an opportunity to kind of reflect back a bit. Yeah, any money that comes about from it, we're going to reinvest back into the channel, making content, improving the quality of streams. But it does unlock some more opportunities for some other stuff as well. Okay, this is 2mm, 3mm, $3mm stuff, more 3mm. Two. I need more 2mm ID stuff. That's for certain. The only issue I have with PTFT2 that all bits are too short to use as Bowden tube. Yeah. Most of what I have is too short for any Bowden runs. I need to go through and stop hoarding stuff that'll probably never be useful. Lots of panel seals in here. Oh, there's some more Capricorn tubing. Another little bag. Brushes. Why are these brushes in here? Panel seal stuff. Oh, look, it's a Capricorn sticker. All right. This is 2. This is 2. That's 3. That's 2mm stuff. I mean 3mm stuff. That is that. Or 3mm. I couldn't close the stupid drawer. And 2mm ID. I can't see it in here though. There we go. All right. Sorry, we went off chasing squirrels there a bit, didn't we? All right. Panel seals back in there. Trash. We'll find a place for this Capricorn sticker on the toolbox. That'll make that drawer a little bit more manageable. So yeah, here's what we've got for seating when you guys come. There's a futon, and then there's 3 computer desk chairs. One of them's more comfortable than the other 2. All right, so I guess we're taking this back apart because LowSync said to do it the right way. I want to try. The neighbor just sold the house next door to me, and he had a big old sectional they put outside at the curb. I was like, hey, are you throwing this away or what's the deal? He's like, no, somebody was supposed to come pick it up, and then they came and said, changed their mind, said they didn't want it. I tried to follow back up with them like, okay, so what are you doing with it now? And I never got an answer. Trying to see if I could grab a couple parts of it. Baker Viking, how's it going? And switch this futon out for like the chaise lounge section, and then like the other end, and kind of just make a little love seat with a chaise lounge on it. Wire spools you printed. Working on Tinker Atlas again. It seems like a non-stop project for you at this point. Digital Dragon, thank you for becoming a member. But I'm doing all right. I thought I had some things I had to do today, and turns out I didn't have those things that I had to do today. So super excited about that. Yesterday was a bit of a upsetting. So my daughter, her school dance, if you follow along with the Discord, you'll know what was going on there. But the school decided they weren't going to let my daughter go to the dance. Said that she needed an 80% attendance score by the math for how many hours, and they do it by hours. The math on how many hours that she would have had to have missed to be at 80% was like 7.6 total days of school. She has 5 unexcused days. 3 for 3D Printopia, and 2 because she wasn't feeling well, but we didn't take her to the doctor. And then she's got a whole bunch of days that she's missed. She's got some mental health issues, so she sees a counselor once to twice a week. And then she was having some serious health issues a little bit ago with her heart. So she missed some school for that. All of them medically excused. So technically, she should have been allowed to go to the dance, but because she misses school either for a whole day or several hours at least once a week for counseling, they're pissed about that. And they wouldn't let her go. And she was extremely upset because the dance was last night. And it's heartbreaking. I mean, I had spent, when we're at 3D Printopia, we went over to the mall there by our hotel, and she found this really nice dress in Boscov's. I didn't have the money then. I had to wait till I got money back from the security deposit on the hotel. But I bought her a really nice dress and everything to be able to go. Dress that I really didn't have the money to buy, but it's her first, it was going to be her first formal dance. So, yeah, exactly. Punishing students because they have health issues. She's doing everything she can to take care of her mental health situation that has been an issue for years and made it so that she couldn't even attend school for a couple of years. We had to do homeschooling because of it. And, she does what she needs to do to kind of remain in a state where she can go. And then you're going to do this, which isn't helping her mental health any. It was a dick move. It was the wrong call. And they're on the phone like, well, maybe she can start I called them. If you know me in real life, I'm not the one to mess with. Let's just put it that way. Was on the phone with them for a while. And they're like, well, maybe she can, they got another spring dance. And, if she can start not missing school every week. I was like, there is no world in which she does not miss a day or at least several hours, depending on when the appointment is scheduled every week, every single week. It will never happen. You got to get over it. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Let's get out the Dremel. And a new sanding disc. There we go. Dun-dun. More than full-time Maker Viking? Yikes. Yeah, I think everybody here is, but if for some reason you've missed it, Tinker Atlas, go check out the website. It's a really cool project that Maker Viking's been working on for quite some time. All right. The sanding drum doesn't want to come off of here. There we go. New sanding drum. Yeah, of course, man. That's an awesome project. Maker Vikings over there, and where are you from exactly? You have very much kind of like a Scandinavian type accent. But he's over there in Europe keeping American hours. He was up last night on a stream at 5 a.m. his time. This is not working well. You thought it would scream louder? I don't know. You just gotta, guess you're gonna have to order a blaster that fires them faster. I guess I could do that now, since I took it off. I could just file it. Yeah, let me go get a file. All right. We got Maker Viking with the what is that? Norway. You're from Norway, awesome. Now, is Norway considered a Scandinavian country? Am I correct in that assumption? Appreciate the, I don't know what that currency is called, Maker Viking, but the 10 Norwegian dollar things. I'd like to know what your currency is called, if you got a second. So somewhere in the home, in my childhood home, there is a safe with, so I was born while my parents were in the army in Germany. And I've got a collection of Deutschmarks and some other European currency from the mid 80s. Also an old $500 bill that my great-grandfather gave me when I was really, really little. Crowns. Okay. Awesome. With the 10 crown super chat. Appreciate you. Mike, I don't care. It's the thought that counts. And I appreciate it. It's cool to see. It's fun. You work towards a goal and you get that goal, and then, you know, you get to celebrate in that, and that's fun. And it's going to be awesome getting to celebrate with everybody. No, I wasn't asking for the value. I was asking what their currency was called. I just said I don't know what the conversion is. I'm not worried about it. I appreciate it, Maker Viking, very much. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Not even for the money part of it. It's another interaction kind of thing, you know. All right, so we can put away this thing. Appreciate you. You know what would be really cool? Is if Google sent me the 10 crowns, like actually sent me 10 Norwegian crowns. That'd be pretty sweet. I could add it to my collection. I need to get back to collecting some foreign currency and stuff. I had some friends who were in the early 2000s stationed over in the Middle East, who made quite a bit of money exchanging currency back and forth between Iraqi currency and stuff like that while they were over there, until they kind of like clamped down on that situation that they had going on over there. Mini Bike, appreciate you. Love the interactions. I agree, Mike. It's really cool to see to interact with people in different parts of the world and to learn about different parts of the world. One of my favorite YouTube channels is a channel called Yes Theory. And I go all over the world and go to different places and see different things and interact with like just local people and see how people live in different parts of the world. And not just like the touristy things, you know? Like, yeah, it's fun to, you know, watch, you know, a tech channel thing, and they go to the like tech mall in Shenzhen, China, and would I like to do that? Absolutely. But it's also really fun to watch things where they're, you know, out in the country in China, seeing how, you know, people live their everyday lives there. And It's not like a just government propaganda video. Yeah, food channels are one of my favorite for it. Not only do I get to see different places, I get to see different foods and get different ideas for cooking. So yeah, that is one of my favorites. All right, so now we got this sanded down. Put this back together once more with feeling this time. This thing is like tangled up in here. There we go. All right. Lovely, lovely. Let's get some screws. Has anybody kept count on how many times we've taken this tool head apart today? Use Velcro. I don't know if Moose Burger's good or not. Yeah, yeah. Got to get it right. This is my least favorite tool head, by the way. I love the way it looks. I hate working on it. The Ender 3 NG has a very interesting tool head design. Especially for the airflow for their front fan. Also, part of my plan for today is to go through the extrusions and drill and tap them as necessary. So I'm gonna find wherever the manual is hiding for the NG, look through that, and that way I have some idea of what I'm doing come time for stream. Buffalo burgers. I have had buffalo. I have had a buffalo burger. Breslers, thank you. I was watching your stream this morning. Had to bounce out there. The to start up this one. Sorry about that. I try not to overlap with anybody. I really do. I printed the ones that you sent me, the alternative ones. No, so I do very much worry about it, because I do not want to be the reason why somebody has to split focus. And being a guy who streams every single day, like Armored 3D Printing was doing some Friday streams, and I waited this morning to see if he was streaming this morning, because I know he was doing some streams on Fridays. And I was just like, that's cool. Like, I can take a day off. Or I can move my stream to another time. Wednesday, I was going to stream in the evening. Steve was streaming. I was just like, all right, cool. Let's watch Steve. You know, if I was streaming one time a week, like, yeah, I would just stream when I had available. Like, I was doing it Saturday mornings. For a while, I was doing it Saturdays right after Jeremy and Keela, but then I really like Jerry's stream. So I moved it to the mornings, and that's when I had when I was working. So if somebody else was streaming, I just had to stream at the same time. But with the flexibility in my schedule, I try to move my stuff around to not overlap with other people. Luke, did you do something to your neck, sir? Guru, welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Your name looks familiar. I'm not sure if this is your first time chatting over here or not, but glad to have you here. All right. Let's put these screws back in, get our ducts reattached. Liz, I had to laugh when you were talking about knowing French words, because that was the first thing that came to my mind was all the culinary stuff that's all French words. And then there was a young lady that I used to work with that very much enjoyed saying very inappropriate things to me in French. Every time somebody new would start, she would tell them that we were getting married. It was quite interesting. She was quite the character. She moved down to Florida, last I heard. Good for her. Sunnier weather. Crepes, yep. Just had crepes earlier this week. My daughter, so what make crepes, there's always a lot of filling. And the recipe for the crepes makes way more than we eat in a meal. So my youngest daughter, who very much loves strawberries and crepes, ate them breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next day and a half. A croissant, yes. Luke, we're very much going to be in the same situation. So they're removing the discs between C5 and C6. And then also between C4 and C5, and fusing 4, 5, and 6 together. And the disc between C6 and C7 is bad, but it was an optional thing whether or not I wanted that one removed and fused as well. But C7 is your last one before your thoracic area, and there's not much movement there at that joint below, so it would have really limited the amount of movement I would have had. So I opted not to do that one yet. Three-day-old chili. Well, the good thing about chili is it's acidic, so at least it'll stay good for a while. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, the first grape that comes out of the pan is always a little bit shoddy. I think it's because it's very hard to know when that pan is at just the right temperature. What's your favorite topping for crepes? Like I said, we normally do strawberries. That sounds good, Havoc. Yikes. Yeah, I know that. So that's the other thing. I know that I'm going to have more surgeries. I know that I'm going to have to eventually, I'll have to have my entire neck fused. So I'm going to have more neck surgeries. I know that I'm going to have 3 vertebrae fused in my thoracic and 3 in my lumbar. So it's not like if I did all of them, all 3 now in my neck, I would avoid a potential surgery in the future. I'm going to have more surgeries. So raspberry jalapeno jam. Ooh. I do like chocolate. I like to do strawberries with a dark chocolate. I just use like the Hershey's special dark syrup for like chocolate milk. Yeah, I need an exoskeleton. Like, what was that show back in the 90s? Mantis? Where the guy had that exoskeleton suit? Need to be the $6 million man and the bionic woman. I'm not sure why. Nobody told me, and I had never thought to ask why like it's not an option to replace the discs, because that seems like it would be preferable, but I don't know enough about it. I should have asked, but I didn't. Yeah. I won't lie, there's days in this hobby where you do feel like Tony Stark. It can be very fun, this hobby. Oh, my Polymaker dryer is alarming out. I need this spring to get in there. Let me get your camera angle over here, more appropriate. Oh. All right. That spring will work its way into wherever it wants to be, I guess. Filament cutter, now it can come over and run into this part right in there and depress all the way, where before it couldn't. It would get to about here. That was as far as it could depress, and that just wasn't cutting it, literally. All right, now we're gonna need to heat that up and get whatever's in those threads out so I can get this nozzle in there. 3D printed discs in his back. Also, I think I've got the very last plate of parts for the NG on the printer. I think. I gotta go back through and double check. What I'm gonna do is today, after these parts are done, I'm gonna lay out everything on the table. Make sure I have the right quantities and the right versions. Open them up in Slicer, check, and do all that. Because the last thing I want to do is have the build held up for 4 hours because we got to print a part. Mike, I am currently printing 2 sets of the wobbly bits, the flexi bits for the Z drives. All right, so because this requires this, I've got to bring this over. Otherwise, it's not going to boot up. Got to plug in the Night Owl. Then I need an Ethernet cable. I was smart and put a 8-port switch on this workbench, so it's got plenty of Ethernet hookups. Oh, I'm sure we're going to have to print something, but I'm trying to avoid us having to print very much, if anything. I want to, if we have to print something, I want it to be because we messed something up, not because I forgot to print it. Also, now without being able to use the multi-board on this bench, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to have to put a pegboard up around this thing. Unless anybody knows of a better option than pegboard, which I would like a better option than pegboard, because the thing that I liked about the multi-board was that it's bigger openings than a pegboard, and I could still see through it. It wasn't going to obscure my view of the rest of the garage. So here's kind of, it's 2020 extrusion, right? 4 feet tall and, you know, halfway around this bench. So 3 feet and like 2.5 feet over here. And there was no way to connect it to the 2020 extrusion. And then it would also need to connect to itself. It's not like I have a huge belt printer that I could print long versions of it out, but it had to like connect to itself in the middle, and there's no way to do it. I looked, I asked Gerari, because he's on the multi-board team. I posted up in their Discord, not Discord. They used to have a Discord because I used to be a part of a Discord that was multi-board. And now they've got their own kind of thing. It looks like it's being run on the Heartbeat app because it's very similar to another community that I still am a community admin over there, but I haven't participated in it. Most of it, it's all newer people to the hobby, and they're very much focused with like bamboo printers, and not having a bamboo printer, my ability to troubleshoot and help them was extremely limited now. So I just kind of took a step back from that community until such time that, you know, I get myself a bamboo printer or something and I'm a little bit better set to be able to help them with their questions. And there's no real interest in the kind of stuff that I do in the hobby. They very much like to print like models and stuff like that and paint stuff, and there'd be a community that Pezlis would very much love. They very much like printing the kind of stuff that Pezlis likes to print and stuff. Yeah, so I could have got creative and got it mounted to the extrusions. But then there's no way to join it in the middle, to join all the pieces together. So I would have holes in the middle where I couldn't put a board because there's no extrusion to mount it to. And then they wouldn't be tied to each other or stabilized in the back anyway. I would have had to like put plywood up and then put the multi-board on top of it, and that would defeat the entire purpose for what I was trying to do. So it wasn't going to work. I tried. I've spent the last couple of, since mid-September, no, since mid-August, trying to figure out a way to make it work. And I couldn't. And then when we did the Gerari drawer stuff, and he mentioned he was on like an admin kind of thing in the community, I reached out to him and asked him and showed him what I had going, and his answer was just like, oh, no, there's nothing. And I'm not mad at him for it. This is very much a non-standard use case. It's not what most people are going to do with multi-board. So I'm not mad at that. It just wasn't going to work. So we'll figure out other projects to use. I've got, you know, I ended up having about a little over 5 kilograms of black. We're using part of it for this NG build. I've got 3 kilograms of white. We're going to use that for something. And then the purple and the blue and stuff I did use for the drawers and stuff. So I don't have more extrusions, and I don't want to spend $200 on extrusions to make the project work. I don't have $200 to drop on it. So yeah, if I took and gridded out the whole thing so that there was an extrusion at every seam for it to attach to, yeah, I could have. You could do it that way, but it's cost prohibitive. There's no reason to spend that much money to shoehorn something into it. You know what I mean? And I try to do projects in a way that are realistic for the person that is looking to maybe do this project on their own in their garage or in their shop. So let's just say, for instance, all of a sudden I had Adam Savage money coming in on my YouTube channel. I would still try to do a project in a manner that you at home, the average person in their garage, could do with normal tools. You don't need wouldn't need a lathe. You wouldn't need a, Bridgeport mill. You wouldn't need, big fancy stuff. You could do it with a circular saw, Very much the, Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with scraps. That's what I want. That's what I want the projects to be on this channel. I don't want any of it to be unattainable stuff. If you want to watch somebody make unattainable stuff that you would never be able to have in your life, there's plenty of channels out there. This is all 2020 extrusions. So I was at a yard sale, a big community yard sale back in the spring, and I think it was Easter. Anyway, so there was a guy, he was selling some Unify equipment, and I bought all my Unify stuff from him. I ended up, talking to him a bit, and I was saying, what I was trying to accomplish and talking about 3D printers. He goes, oh, and asked what kind of 3D printers I had. And I told him, and he goes, okay. He goes, I don't know a whole lot about 3D printers, but I do know, I have heard of Vorons. He goes, because a friend of mine built one. I've got something I know that you'll be interested in. So he goes over and he gets this box, and it's 10 4-foot long 2020 extrusions. And I was like, okay, what do you want for it? He goes, can't remember what he charged me for it. He might not have even charged me at all. He might have just thrown it in with everything else I was buying. But so I got all those extrusions for nothing or next to nothing. And extrusions aren't cheap. Steven, you bought some extrusions. What did you end up paying? Guru of Null. Yeah, you could do acrylic panels. That would give you the ability to see through it still. That is true. I did, Martin. I had the ability to give some subs. It let me give away 5. So I gave away 5 subs, and you were one of the one that got it. Yeah, if I had a few more verticals, I could probably make it work. It would be better to have horizontal ones too, but I think you probably could make it work. Oh, that's not too bad. Maybe I'll look at it in the future. Maybe we'll revisit it. Like I said, I've still got quite a bit of black. I've got 3 kilogram spool of white over there. You got a bunch sitting around. Let me tell you exactly how long these are. Yeah, these are 4-foot pieces. Oh no, I appreciate it, Mike. If I can figure out a way to make it happen, we'll make it happen. Like I said, I don't want to put pegboard up. Normally, I would advocate for pegboard over multi-board for most use cases because it's cheaper. But it doesn't accomplish what I want to accomplish. So it's one of those situations where 3D printed is the better solution, even though it costs more than other things, because there is no other solution. So it is one of those situations where I can't think of a better way to accomplish what I want to do than with multi-board. All right, let's plug this thing in. Turn her on. Hope that nothing catches on fire. How much multi-board do you have put up, Mike? I'm thinking about what I want to do with this situation back here. So, as you can see back here, there is This is my main work area. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see. So there's 2 monitors and then a big TV up there that's hooked to my my Mac Mini. And this situation has worked great, but it's always been somewhat difficult to look up at that TV. And normally what I do is I put whatever stream or whatever I'm watching up there. I want to work on the backdrop for this stream, and that's kind of part of it. So we're going to take the Demolition Ranch flag down. Because part of this community, that's not their thing. And I don't want to alienate that part of the audience. I'm going to probably swap this flag for my Blackbeard flag. That or find something else to put up there, but I need to figure out a way to move this TV into a better location that I don't have to look up for, because I'm not going to be able to look up at it at all very shortly. Like I said, it's perfect if I'm not sitting here to like look at that while I'm out in the shop. So maybe I just leave it. I don't know. But there's pegboard back there, and the stuff that's on the pegboard, I want to move to the multi-board over here. And I don't know. What are we doing? You don't know? Oh, we're just we're chatting at the moment, getting ready to we just powered this on. We're going to heat this up so we can clean out the threads on this hot end. This is the worst screen. We're just going to take it to 220. Damn, that hurt. This fan is buzzing on something. I don't know. We'll figure that out next, I guess. All right. Yeah, that's nasty. All right. That's cleaned. Can you guys hear that fan? All right. Put our sock back on. Maybe. All right. We'll do the sock once it cools off. It's not wanting to go up on there. DM me pictures of the multi-board on Discord. All right, let's take a look. All right. So here's Mike's multi-board stuff. I said, oh, let me just... You got quite a bit. How much filament did this take up, Mike? I'm very curious to find out how much filament I'm going to end up in. I calculated it before and threw away the note. I think it was something like 6 kilograms of filament to do all the multi-board for this. I need to get an MGN 12 rail because the one in the 2.4 has worn out, and the print quality is suffering for it quite a bit. Stealth changer, nice. You're doing stealth changers as well. $3 kilograms for that. It eats up a lot of filament. A whole kilogram for the snaps? Really? All right, let's try to get this thing on there. All right, now that's attached. Where is this fan hitting? I need to put this in a bit. It's out of my way. That's all right. I was just curious if you had an idea. All right, let's get back over here. Do I have a place for this sticker? No, not gonna go there. Might have to just go right down there. Let's move this out of the way. Now, is there a way for me to turn this hot end fan on without turning the hot end on? I don't think I've ever actually tried to do that. But is there an option? Hot end fan. No. Not letting me do it. I'll have to kind of when we go into here, go into fan, hot end fan, heater extruder, heater temp. If I set that to 10, it should just run. I think I just killed it. It's turning now, but yeah. Now, I tried to turn it on down here and it won't let you. All right, so power shut down. Let's see if I have another fan. These are 3510s. Here's a 3010. It's concerning because it looks like I had this mounted at one time. I don't know if it's any good. What size fan do I need for the hot end on the NG? Does this come with it? Yes. Yeah, there is one in the kit. I wanted to make sure. What I want to get is some of those 5-volt fans. Clearly I need to order some more 3010s, but some of those 5-volt 2510 fans. I don't know how I ended up with 3510s. What would a 3510 fan even go into? Does anyone know? Seems like I used one for something, because I don't think it came with just 3. What would I have used that for? Maybe the cooling fan in the V0? These are 5-volt fans. This is a 3006 fan. What size fan are you? Oh, come on. Seriously? You are a 2510 12-volt fan. I don't know that I have a bag for 5-volt fans. All right. So I need a bag for 5-volt fans. 12-volt fans, rather. Do I have a bag up here that has label potential? Maybe. All right. Yes, he is the only one that does that. I do very much love the way his kits are done for the hardware. Hog panels, what is that? All right, so let's get tools back out, because we got to take this tool head apart again. At this point, I might have more experience taking apart and putting back together Anthead tool heads than anybody else on the planet. Something just popped in my back and now I'm dizzy. Do you ever have that happen where you just feel that your spinal fluid has decided to rearrange itself? Give me a second. Oh, wow. Shoulder popped that loud at work. Your wife up. That's kind of impressive, actually. All right. Yeah, that sucks, Steven. Feels like you're on a boat all the time. I have to watch my feet. I like to walk down steps and stuff. I can't tell much where they are. So I can sympathize with you totally on the legs being numb. It sucks. Well, I know why this fan got taken out of here. With this longer front shroud, the wire was too short to reach. Now, is there an option to change this to a different voltage? Can I change this to 12 volt? Then I could use this fan. EBB 36. Oh. Let's look at this. Mm. So that's the selector for that. I thought you could select voltage on the EBB 36. Does appear that it's only 24 volts. Okay. So that means we're going to need to extend this wire, I do believe. But let's finish getting this taken apart, I guess. Yeah. I don't know why I thought you could on the, but I know you could select between a couple different voltages on the H36 and the O2S board that I put in the Trident and 2.4 respectively. I haven't looked at the Night Owl enough to know whether you can select the voltage on it. Well, there I go dropping things. Yep, we're gonna need I don't know, we might be able to get away with it. All right. Let's get this done. So I can go make lunch. And so you guys aren't bored to tears any longer. Thank you, everybody who's still here, for sticking with me this long. I appreciate it. I know that it's not been riveting entertainment. Thank you again to everybody who has become members today. It's very fun getting to have those notifications pop up, and I think we're going to be able to do some fun stuff around it in the very near future. All right, let's oh, come on, get up in there. There we go. Here we are. One. Yeah, I think this will reach back there, okay? All right, let's turn this on and see if that fan works now. Dan, how's it going? Have a good weekend, Guru. You're out of here. Need to lurk for a bit. Friday afternoon meetings. Ooh. You spend a lot of time having to sit through meetings, man. I don't envy you at all. I hated meetings. Seemed like rarely did anything productive come about from them. This should just start spinning. If Clipper decides to connect. All right, what is this thing? Because this fan's doing it too. All right, there we go. I don't understand. It's clearly just hitting on something, and I can't figure out what. But this fan is turning way faster, at least. If I push up on this corner, it gets better. If I push up on this corner, it gets better. Alright, I got the monkey with this for a bit, figure it out. But I won't torment you guys anymore with that. So, bye Raj, have a good weekend. With that, we will call it 3 hours streaming, taking apart and putting back together an Anthead. I think is quite enough. Thanks for everybody who stuck it out this long. On your way out, don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks for all those that became members. Thank you for being here for the first YouTube partnered stream. Appreciate everybody that became members. Appreciate my Patreon members. Yeah, have a good weekend. We'll be back at this again tomorrow, doing something else. What? I don't know. We'll figure it out. No, I understand, man. You gotta work. You gotta make that money. Somebody's got to pay for the filament that you need, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for getting me to this point. Without you guys, I wouldn't get here. So, thank you. I know a lot of you guys, other content creators, giving me some shout outs and people just watching the content, and I appreciate it. It's fun, and we'll see y'all back here again tomorrow. Have a good Friday, everyone.